guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you all for coming back. To all my new subscribers, welcome to my channel. I'm Faith. I'm a third-year mental health nursing student and I'm at the University of Plymouth, and I've been away for over a year now, a year-ish, but I'm so sorry and I'm back now. And today I'm going to be talking about what my job is like as a healthcare assistant. So the last time I talked about being a healthcare assistant, I was with an agency and I was working in a community, so sort of doing care homes. Yeah, that's what I was doing. But now I work for the NHS. I'm a band 3 and I'm just here to tell you how I got the job, what my role is like, what I do on the side, and how I combine work with school basically. So sit back and enjoy. So I got my job at a careers fair. It was like an open day thing. So I came there, I said this was the job I was looking for. I think they were hiring for nurses as well, if I was not mistaken. But yeah, they had like a lot of jobs going on. It was like an NHS career day fair. But yeah, I did the interview on the day. So it was a very weird thing. They were partnering with Indeed, I believe. So it was sort of NHS and Indeed. They came together and then they did this. So it was at a football stadium near me. So I went there. It goes in stages. So after the first stage, I went to the second stage. This was like 2 years ago now, so it might have changed at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. So I got the job and it took me like about 2 months before I actually started, because there was a lot of checks and the fact that I needed part-time hours, and yeah, it was just a lot. But luckily I started. I was in an orthopedic ward. I'm still in an orthopedic ward, but just that we've moved buildings, but I'm still with the same team I started with, and it's been really amazing. I've learned a lot. So that's how I got the job. So how to apply? I think at the moment you can apply via Indeed, you can apply via NHS Jobs or Track, and I think in some trusts you can apply directly on their website. So it just depends on, you know, the routes that you're going for and what I do. So every day is different. That's why I say every day is different, but it's similarly the same routine that we follow. And of course, we're trying to provide patient-centered care. So this is how we're supposed to do it. But then each patient is different. So what you do for this patient might be different from what you do for the second patient. You get? So first of all, in the morning, we do handover. Handover tells you about, so from night staff give hands over to the day staff. So I'll tell you what we do on day and I'll tell you what we do on night. So night staff gives handover to day staff. Then we set up everywhere for breakfast. We have housekeepers that do breakfast. So they come around, those people that need feeding, you feed them. And then some people want to get out of bed, you just give them like assistance depending on what their mobility is like. And then after that, we do washes. Yeah, so depends. Most of them are independent on the ward, so you just help them with their wash. You give them towels or flannels or whatever they need to have a wash. And then if they need help, you also help them. And it's good if they're day 0 or day 1, if you give them a wash to assess their back, just so that you assess their skin, just so that if there's any if it needs anything, you can either snap it or you report to the nurse in charge, and then they will tell you what to do. So nurse in charge of your obey. So whoever is looking after the patient, you report it to the person. So yeah, that's very important. And whilst you're doing the wash as well, you're also doing like assessment of their body, their skin, their teeth, their eyes. Just make sure that you are like looking at everything. If there's anything that's different, you are also reporting it to the nurse that, oh, I was here on Tuesday and this was not there, but it's there now. Just so that they know that this is happening to them. And then around the time that we're doing the washes, the physios normally come. So what the physios do is that they help each patient with their mobility. So they assess them because they've had surgery. They need like walking aids to help them after surgery. So they either give them a frame or a crutches, or they have other equipment, but the common ones are frames and crutches. And then they do like a lot of assessments with them just to make sure that they're ready to go home and they're safe when they get home. And then the patient has to be signed off by physio and occupational therapy before they go home. But yeah, physios and OT, they come around whilst we're doing the washes. So what I like to do is, if I know that the physio is going to see this person first, I do this person's wash first before the physio come, so that physios are not here and then waiting for them. And of course, depending on your ward as well, you might have help from another healthcare assistant or another nurse. But like, don't forget, like, it's teamwork, so you have to work together. And then if you're finished with your wash, you also go and help other people if they need it. But just make sure that you are focused on your patients and then you're giving them like the care that they need. So after we do their wash, normally it's around like break time by the time you finish your wash. So what we normally do is we start the breaks. So whoever is going for break first starts break first. So when you go for break, the other person will start like observations. So that's where we check like blood pressure. Sometimes they need like weight done. So if they're getting out of bed, I normally do that in the like first thing in the morning, or if they need to go to the toilet, just so that you're not making them stand up, because a lot of times they don't want to stand up like unnecessarily because of the pain. So you have to be considerate and you have to work with the patient. That's why I said person-centered care, because each patient is different, you get. So yeah, with the observations, you do blood pressure, you do temperature, you do heart rate, you do what else? Respiration. Yeah, you check if they're alert or they're confused, or if you're not waking up at all. I think that's the first thing. Because if you go to check someone's blood pressure and they're not awake, then I don't think you can do that now. So if you're not awake, of course you have to call them, press the emergency bell. Everyone is gonna come running, and yeah, it will be sorted from there. But so that's why I say, like, when you're going to see the patient, like, you are assessing all the time. So if you go in and then you see that the patient is awake but they're not responding to your voice, they're only responding to your touch, that's also a cause for alarm. You need to call someone, you need to report it. So everything, when you go for a job, they'll train you. So that's the same thing with healthcare assistants as well. They're gonna train you, but even when they train you, don't think that this 2 days training, that's it. Whilst you're working, you learn as you go. That's why I believe you learn as you go. Every day you keep learning. So what else we do? Depending on your grade as well. So even though I just recently got band 3 because of like the agenda for pay, whatever that they did, but then I'm not trained to do a lot of things. So like, I'm not trained to put in cannulas or catheters or some other things. But then because of I think that's ANTT, one of the training that they gave us, I can take out catheters and I can take out cannulas. So it just depends. And then sometimes you have certain patients that are going home. You have to make sure that you take out their cannulas, and if they need catheters taken out, you have to make sure that everything that they need documented is also done. So yeah, don't forget, documentation is very, very important, because there are certain things that patients will say or do. If it's not written down, it might not have happened. How do you prove that? So you have to make sure that you're documenting everything. And on your news chart, you have to make sure you are signing properly and you are dating and you're putting a time, because it's very important. Because something can happen, and as long as you see that, oh, I did this on this day and this time, like, you're covered. And also it's also good for the patient as well, so that in case something were to happen, they can, or if they are trying to figure out meds or something, they can use the time that you did the last OBS to check things. We also do samples. So normally, like in the day, that's basically what we do. So after washing, after doing OBS, we do OBS twice a day, or depending on what the patient wants. So sometimes on our ward we have what we call post-surgical ops. So post-surgical ops, we do them every 30 minutes for 4 times, every hour 4 times, every 2 hours 4 times, every 4 hourly 4 times. So that's how we do it. So by the time you've done that, you've made sure that you're seeing the patient at least 4 times in 30 minutes, at least 4 times in an hour, you know, things like that. And yeah, I feel like with each ward it's kind of different because you get to do different things and you learn like different things as well. And I also do nhsp. nhsp is like agency for NHS, so I go to a lot of different wards, and then I've done a lot of things with nhsp. I've gone to a lot of places. My favorite has to be maternity, and I remember when I did my nhsp in maternity, that was my second shift, I think. I got to watch delivery, 2 deliveries actually. One was a vaginal birth and one was a cesarean section, and I got consent from both staff and the patients to watch these things, and it was the most amazing thing ever. So yeah, that's basically my job. On night shifts it's a bit chill, so we come in after handover. Normally what I like to do is I like to give everybody tea first of all, and then I start my obs. I do my obs after tea or before tea. It just depends on the situation. But yeah, I like to give them tea because like it settles them, and like it's evening time, they can get a bit thirsty. So yeah, offer them tea, and then if some of them have catheters, you empty their catheters, you see what needs doing. Sometimes some of them might need something throughout the night, you make sure that you give it to them. Then don't forget, people that have people that are diabetic or steroids or something, you have to check their blood sugars. So it's going to be indicated in their notes that this is the time you check the blood sugar, this is what you do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. With nhsp it's also the same routine because you're going to a ward. So like I said, each ward is different. They're going to tell you what to do on the ward. And combining work and school has not been the easiest thing, to be fair. But what I do is I make sure I find time to rest, because that's, for me, that's the most important thing. I make sure I find time to rest, and I try to do my work on time. So like if I have assignments, I prioritize time for it. I say, okay, Monday I'm studying for 2 hours or 4, you know. I make sure that I give enough time so that I'm not like lacking behind. And then when I'm at work, I focus on work, you know, things like that, just to make sure that my life is not in a knot. You get, I try to like prioritize things, put things first. And then I also take care of myself. I try to go to the gym, and yeah. So good news, I passed my driving test now. I passed it 2 months ago. So I think I'll do another video because I failed 4 times. No, 3 times. I passed on the 4th try. So yeah. Anyway, that's story for another day. I'm going to do another video on how I passed my driving test. And yeah. So if you want me to do a video on any other thing, you tell me. And recently I've done a band 5 interview. I'm also going to do a video on that just to tell you guys how it was. It was a face-to-face interview, so it wasn't even Zoom. So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys how it was and results of that. And yeah, well, yeah, thank you very much for staying, and I hope this was very helpful. If you're thinking of applying to a job at the NHS as a healthcare assistant, I will highly recommend, because I think you'll learn a lot. Thank you for staying, and I hope you come back. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.